Hey guys, welcome everyone. We got a better Academy game going on tonight, T2. We've got Artemis playing off versus Elk Remix, and I don't know about you, but this looks like it's going to be a pretty good game.
I'm hoping it is. I don't know much about. I don't know how much I know and have trust in Remix and Elk in general about what they got, what Artemis has bringing up, especially because Artemis has been doing really good in scrims recently. But it looks like it's going to be a really nice matchup. It's got a lot of good old names and a lot of good new names.
Yeah, for sure. These are a lot of well-known players on both teams, I'd say, and especially for me personally. I've known Atomic Man has been in T2 for a while, off tank. Twinkie, I heard a lot about him, you playing with him, and like another one is Fawn Golf, who I've been coaching him since he joined console watch. So this is a game I'm very excited for, and heading into it, very exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to end up being a really fun one. I know that Artemis has a lot of things riding into their DPS line, along with the fact that Frosty and Atomic have some really good synergy. Their support line is relatively new. Some of their signings were kind of last minute for week one, and so their rosters kind of formed up, and they did win last week, right? Took a big win last week. And they're going to head in, hopefully with a head of steam. Yeah, and then with Elk, I know obviously their backline, Zulu Heavy and Fawn Golf, have a lot of experience both playing in T2 for at least over a season. Smiles has been running the Elk org for at least 8 months now. And then Twinkie has been dominating in T2, doing silly junk things for well over a year. So this should be a really fun matchup. Our first map heads off to Ilios. What you thinking about it?
This is going to be a lot of either 6-man, or you're going to be playing a lot of ball comps with probably Pharmacy, probably some Tracer, maybe some Sombra. That's going to be the big thing you're going to see here.
I'm looking forward to it. I know Atomic Man has a pretty solid ball in him. I mean, that team has been pounding in scrims recently. Alright.
Looks like both of our teams are ready here, so we're just going to head right in. No time wasted. Just head right in. And I think the coolest thing about this game is that this is like the battle of an old org. Elk has been along for a long time. It's had some changes recently, against they have a brand new owner for the whole org, brand new coaches. This is a whole new player. The last time Elk had their T2 team, it did not go well, but this is a whole new set of new faces compared to Artemis, which is this is the first time they've ever played as a team. They have no pre-existing history. This is their first time being a team, especially in Better Academy.
Yep, it's going to end up being a big show for them because this is their first game cast on the Better Academy, and this is going to be a great way to show off how good they are if they are going to do anything this season.
This would be some very interesting looks. I just saw the start. The game hasn't started yet, but I kind of like both of these looks. Obviously, we have the no backline comp with Echo instead of Farah from Artemis, but this other comp from Elk Remix is a ball comp to disrupt, but is very counter dive as well with the Cass and the Torb. It looks like they're going to be rolling out on this. I like these comps.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, that Torb Cass is going to end up being a pain in the butt for the dive DPS on Artemis.
Definitely. The big thing here is for Elk just need to group together, especially because if Fawn can stay alive and get that Discord value, they're going to be very set up to blow up these tanks. Also, it's already falling weak. Elk is just setting up in this war here by the well, just sitting, and there's the first big Twinkie on the Torbjorn, not his signature character, but opening up strong, finds Digas, and is, this is the time for Elk to go. They need to push on this advantage, and Twinkie finds another. Way. He's starting off. He falls down to Atomic, but this is already such a major lead. The damage output from this Discord orb, from this Torbjorn, is powerful, but Artemis aren't done. They're fighting back. They've gotten 2 picks of their own, and great pick from Fawn. I think Elk have what it takes to close this out. The health pools for Artemis are just way too weak, but still contesting this point here. No one is capped quite yet. Ultra starting to build up as DJ Rockstar already drops the minefield, and I think that has to be enough to close it out, but trades are still coming out, and Artemis are turning this. Despite such a strong lead, Artemis are still in this, and I think they've turned it.
That looks like they have. It's about a... Wait, they got some picks going back and forth still.
Rest comes out. There's the beat. Man, this fight, no one is cap point yet, and people are still fighting this ultra online for both. Is the D bomb going to be committed? No, I think Elk is just resetting. I think as they don't commit the Diva bomb, but they're fighting back. This fight is so chaotic.
And rally
pops the rally. Keep fighting in, but that's
enough.
Finally, Artemis gets the turn. But wow, what a crazy first fight. You think that Elk has that starting position, but Artemis just turns that.
Yeah, they end up falling victim to the whole no backline chaos. It's a lot of chaos that it is in that comp. You have to be very coordinated and you got to stay focused and clean the fight, or else it's just going to turn on you the longer it goes. But there's a lot of ults coming into this that could really just wipe the floor, so should be a good fight.
They're going to have a lot of space here. Both the High Noon from Cassidy and Twinkie having his own molten core is going to build so much space on a point. It's going to be very hard for Artemis to fight this. Pulse Bomb comes out. Twinkie falls down to it as well as getting the Diva Mech. High Noon's committed, but I don't think that's going to be enough to turn it. They get one, but there's no way that Elk can win this. And that's a tough loss because they use 3 ultimates there, all for that loss. While all it takes from Artemis is just the Pulse Bomb. Pulse Bomb and it's done.
They get some good picks heading out though. If they can get a quick reset, they definitely can recontest this with their tank ults. But yeah, that was a really tough fight for Elk. It's a lot of
I think they think it's winnable because Stefan swept over to the Moira, trying coming back fast just to help out his team, and they're getting picks. They just need to get on point and clean up these kills before a recontest happens. Because the thing about no backline is they have all fast mobility skills that can just respawn super fast. Like right now, Walter is just been living contesting the point. Picks are still coming out from Elk, but look, full health of the ball is back now, and they're still getting this percent point. So even if they lose this fight, this percent is going to be 90 plus for Artemis. Elk finally cleaning up LSC's kills, but look,
and
when they commit the rally? That
95.
That's a questionable play. I think Zulu thought that there's going to be more people returning to fight back, but that's going to be a resource they're probably going to miss in this next fight, especially when Artemis have so many key ultimates coming back.
Yeah, they got a lot of key ultimates, and they also don't have any sort of reactionary ults to use in response to it. They've got mines, but then the rally was their only support ult. They're going to have a really hard time going into the amount of ults that the Artemis have this fight.
I think what's interesting is that Foster with this Moira. It's a very its own mobility very much. It's really just livability, and Twinkie falls off the map. Smiles, makes that returning trade, but losing just a Lucio isn't going to do much to scare off Artemis. So now this is just once again cleanup. Frosty Dog throws up the Diva Bomb, doesn't find anything, but just back in the mech. He drops out. Smiles tries to pull that High Noon, but it's too much already. That early Tracer loss is just devastating.
Pulse?
Pulse Bomb. Now it's just cleanup. I mean, there's ults coming back, and that's a good start if Elk wants to trade this. But again, this no backline comp is so livable. And look, this res comes out for free, so Walter is just alive again. Smiles is on the Reaper now. He gets Robot Ninja, and this is chaotic. It's so hard to keep track of, but this is definitely less fight territory. This Reaper swap might be exactly what they needed because he's just melting down everyone. And despite what might have seemed like an early loss for Elk, they clutched this up and now have their ultimates that they were missing.
They have both support ults. It's going to be definitely huge for this. It's going to be definitely going to change the tide of things here. Crazy stall fight.
It's going to be so hard to melt through this rally. Zulu has it up, and Fawn now popping the Coalescence. Barely lives, but is staying alive, keeping his team up and fighting off the Tracer. Frosty Luck loses mech, so there's not a lot of sustain left. Even mech's gone on both sides. Twinkie. Gosh, Frosty, ults being thrown out from both ways. Diamond with this Echo Pick crushes Zulu on the bridge.
That's gonna be big.
This fight is chaotic. This is once again gonna be one of those fights where whoever can live the longest is. No! No! Artemis C9 the point and Elk take round 1. That is devastating. I thought that maybe Artemis had something up there. They could have turned that. They had the echo copy, just crushed the break, but no. They failed to touch the point, and round 1 goes to Elk. What a good round already.
That was crazy. You'd think that the comp that they were coming out with at Artemis, since it was a more established no backline, that eventually, since the chaos of the first fight, even though it lasted like 17 bajillion years, it might have given the edge, especially since then the last fight that they were gonna do, they came in with no rally. So, but you know, the Reaper swap ended up getting some clutch picks, and they ended up cleaning it up, and that sets up a really exciting round 2. 2 Rhine mirrors. Gotta love it.
For sure. All I would gotta say is that was total chaos. But yeah, we're seeing a Rhine mirror, but we're gonna see Elk should just get there first. They have the sim TP, so they're just on point.
Oh no, Twinkie.
Wait, Twinkie got split up. They didn't all take the TP, and somehow, despite having a TP, they didn't all manage to be together on point. And now, this is just gonna be running in for Artemis. They're gonna not hesitate just even a little bit. They just gotta get in there and clean this up. But Elk are living right now. Health pools are falling low though, and without that immortality, there's just no way that they can hold on to this. In that first fight, just because of that small error, it's gonna be going to this.
Yeah, it was a really unfortunate communication error there on the side of Elk. Not having Twinkie and having his turret set up on point is going to let that Echo just have a free off angle, and they're just going to pump in damage, and Immor is only going to save you for so long. But now they swapped over the Cass. Be interesting coming up for this next fight.
This definitely feels like one of Smiles' comfort picks, and Twinkie opens up with another pick, so that's once again these team fights being opened up with a pick, and Waltersoft on his high ground and taking the off angle, putting a lot of pressure on the backline. It's a big slam, but clutch immortality. DJ Rockstar is staying alive and takes down Atomic. Widow comes up from Zulu, and now this is where Elk just gotta press the go button, push forward on their sticks, and click, and they get the cap early. That's very big because Artemis weren't even fully dead yet, so they're getting stagger kills, they're getting percent points. That's a clean retake right there from Elk.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely exactly what they were looking for. They made the swap over to Cass, get a little bit extra pressure now on to their Echo, who now swapped over to Reaper. Now, I will say the ults are in favor of Artemis for this fight, so it will be interesting coming into this. They have the beat where, I mean, both teams got beat, but they got the Noon, and that Noon's going to add a lot of extra pressure.
High Noon comes up, it's just going to build him space. They don't have to worry about taking any poke, and Shield's already broken. He comes out from Robot Ninja. They're gonna have to push forward now. If Fawn doesn't put out his own beat, they might be in big trouble. Diva Bomb comes out from Italia, and now picks are just coming out from Elk. Diva Bomb coming in from Frosty Mom. He thinks it's winnable. Diamond does get the Diva mech, but I don't think this is gonna be a fight that Artemis can take. It looks like Elk are just gonna be cleaning up. Ooh, crisp headshot from Smiles.
Goodness.
Oh my. Smiles is feeling himself. This is definitely his comfort pick, is the Cassidy. He's feeling himself, and now I would say the ultimate economy has definitely turned tides and is now in favor of Elk.
Yeah, they got both DPS ults up, and they have the back, and they still have the beat in their back pocket. It's gonna be really big here. They have no clue how Artemis is gonna try to break through this.
Smiles is taking this flank with a High Noon. They can't do it. He's on the high ground. He's gonna just look at this. He has it for free, and now Elk are just taking space. Shields are so weak now for Artemis, but they get out. You know what? Elk doesn't get any picks off this, but they have precious takes on the point. It's last fight territory.
It is indeed. That's a big window too.
The big thing is going to be here is if these ults, they still have beat, they still have...
Oh,
he Ajaxed!
And it got cancelled.
Fawn Golf, no! Fawn, he Ajaxes that beat. It gets killed by that boss before it can drop. I think right there, Elk was just way too passive. They just need to hit the go button when they have all that space. But they're not out of this yet. 50% for Artemis, and now they have ultimates. This is going to be where they have to turn this round around.
Yeah, and the big point of this fight coming up is going to end up being the Shatter game. I feel like one of these two Rhines is going to end up hitting a Shatter, and it's going to end up turning the tides of whether or not this ends up being a 99 or a clean win for Elk.
For sure. DJ's looking for it. He's starting to walk forward. His shield's already quite weak, though. He's going in big slam.
Big shatter.
And he blocks the shatter. That's what you call a main tank difference right there. And now they just got to go, and he's pitting from the side. Takes the D.Va off the map. Quite interesting play. It builds them a lot of space because they also do get Ryan. So now it's just up to Elk to try and clean this up. Big hiding from Smiles. He has been fragging out this round. Will support her down. Elk need to clean this up before anyone can come back. Atomic swapped the ball, trying to see if he can get that last wicked touch. Walter touches once more. This Molten Core has been doing so much damage on the point. And Elk, as long as they keep their health pools up, they are looking to secure this map right here. Max back already. And slam from Atomic. This is just desperation from Artemis. And this has all gone wrong. That big play from Rockstar has ended just a disaster. Another shatter puts down Denise on the ground. And I think it's going to be Atomic Man is the only one left, but his health pool is dwindling away, and round map 1 goes to Elk. What a strong start.
That is a great look. Yes, that was a very indeed close map. Both rounds definitely were winnable for both sides. The big play at the end there were definitely the fact that the shatters came out. You had DJ just absolutely emptying the crap out of Atomic, showing that, hey, just because you've played in T2 for decades doesn't mean you're the best Reinhardt anymore, and got absolutely clapped. What a great map for Elk.
Absolutely. Oh man, that's gonna be that was great. So many plays from both sides. Seeing true star like these are true star players. I mean, Smiles popping off on cast, several big high noons. But yeah, for now we're just gonna have to wait till next map. Hopefully it's just as good as this one.
I'm hoping it is, because it's gonna end up being one hell of a game.
Alright guys, what an intense first map Ilios was. I mean, again, truly, it was just popping off from both sides, but at the end of the day, both On Well and Lighthouse came out on top, despite close rounds. And now we're going to be heading into Route 66, which, what do you think about this map, Cal? How is this going to favor both teams?
So I was saying before the swaps came through, they now have Diddy in for Diamond, and Diamond's been one of their big flyer characters. So now they're gonna play a little bit more of their double hit scan stuff. They're gonna play this double shield comp on defense. They might try to. They might.
Me.
Huh? Oh, I'm a little blind. My bad. That is a Torbjorn.
Definitely, this is definitely a bunkery style though.
That is though. It is definitely very bunkery. And the comp outside for I doubt they run out with this, but that isn't such an interesting comp. They running Ryan Orisa Brawl with Hanzo Soldier. Definitely would be awkward if they came out with that on attack. It seems like they kind of.
He's on it. He's on it.
Oh
Look at him.
snap! The Twinkie's on Junkrat.
Twinkies
Shenanigans are about to go down.
The Twinkie is releasing. Anyway,
Aw.
he's on his Junkrat now, and this is very interesting. It's a very weird combination of poke and brawly, and oh, Twinkie's going out for a roll out here in the tunnel. He's waiting. As soon as his team's pushing up, he's gonna get right behind him. He's doing it. He's right above them, and he's building so much space. Doesn't kill anyone, and actually gets punished. But that was such a unique strategy, and I think that almost got value. 50% ult charge. I just don't think they were quite ready for that. And now there's going to be resetting. Smile's hopping over to the Hanzo instead of the Soldier.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked to see a little bit more follow-up, maybe waiting for the card to be pushed around a little bit more, waiting for them to kind of be underneath of it before he goes in for that type of play, but this is now going to set up pretty well for ults now.
Smiles with a good pick. Res is probably going to come out, but that is a valuable resource already taken on early. Now Twinkie, he's putting in damage. He's coming up on this Riptide. He's probably going to have one of the first ultimates. But speaking of first ultimates, Dig already has his amplification matrix. So before long, they're going to get blown up. And there it is. Walter fighting the pig with that pocket. So valuable. And Twinkie, he's going for, he's on the flank. He's Riptiring. Is he going to give big value? Oh, he gets 3.
He gets 3!
Oh my god. Hitting with the hammer kill. This is a battle of silly characters. And I mean, who's going to win this? Diddy has stopped moving. Just a type, I think, or something. I'm not quite sure.
Big shatter.
Slam. Oh my, Doctor. AJ Rockstar has just been playing out of his mind this game. And that's a first one cap for L.
Yeah, and they're kind of set up well for this as well. They have an amplification matrix that they can walk in with, and they still are closing in on a Bongo and Dragons. The fact that they have so many ults walking into the second point means they might get to that corner really easily before they have a really hard time pushing into both the high grounds that the defense is going to be having.
For sure. And Twinkie tries to take that off angle. He's really wanting these off angles, and he's just getting punished for it. He's got to be more careful about it. Bongo pushed out, and there's a window to mirror it, but I don't know how much worth that is, because this is a lost fight. Ult's coming in from both sides. Dragon pushes him up the high ground against Diddy. Oh, but the Molten Core, he already got his value before dying. Diddy has been getting more value in death than when he's alive at this point. I mean, this has just been absolutely wild, but this is going to be Artemis closing out the fight.
Twinkie, they didn't know Twinkie was there. Twinkie has now been hidden.
Oh, look at him.
Wait, they're looking. No,
see him.
Atomic's in the high ground.
Thankfully for them, Twinkie's not going to get staggered. And they have Bongo to fight with this, as well as Beat. I want to see them push very aggressively with the Beat, but the problem is this high ground that Artemis have. But Twinkie with the flank, does it even matter? Does it even matter? Well, it does matter because he does get picked, and I think Dig is going to get rest here. Yep, there it is. So Twinkie forcing out that resource. Big flux. Fawn answers with the Beat, so they're going to live with this a little longer. Bongo's mirrored, and now this is just a
keep pushing.
chaotic battle. Yeah, Cart's rolling. That's all I gotta say. Is Cart is rolling, and it looks like that. It's a good pick, but I think Artemis are just gonna be closing this out. Health bars are way too weak for them to push this, but they get a lot of card space.
I would really like to see them come from this far right high ground instead this time. Hopefully they can close in the distance. They have Shatter and they're about to have this tire. If they can try to speed into and get in their faces instead of having to walk through all of that poke, it'll be a tremendous boon for them because once they're there and in their face, their team brawls way better than Artemis's. But Artemis, they have that window, they have the Coom. It's going to be really difficult for them to do this. Interesting rotation coming out though.
Yeah, I think they're really wanting to close this distance, and I actually kind of like this because they have the Riptire. They will be able to close enough to just run in with that Riptire. But I just want them to do it. Just go for it. They're kind of waiting. I want them to go. Use the ultimates. Use an ultimate. Use Elf. Use an ultimate. All right. Well, use the window, but just a little too late. Yeah. I mean, that's just the thing right here is I see because of this double shield comp, you have to be the ones committing first, especially when you're playing this brawl. You have to be like, all right, we're in the back. Now we're gonna Riptire and go in. They tried to do that with the window, but just a little too late. And now, big ultimates on both sides, but just the defender's advantage with this high ground you can see it's been so oppressive.
Yeah, they've been using these high ground really well, and I mean, they've been trying to find rotations around it, but then they kind of just stall, and that stall is gonna let the poke just set in. And look, his shield's already gone.
Twinkie's dead again. The strategies really revolve around Twinkie going on the flanks, and it seems like it works. That's a big shatter. Wait, this is
Big shatter.
potentially the start of something. Smiles releasing the dragons, and space is being created for Elk, and now the picks are coming through. Walter believes it's winnable though. He pops the Bob and gets a kill. He's looking for more. See if he can find anything. He gets the both supports. So just even if Artemis lose this fight, Walter has now created an opening for them because they have no supports. And he gets the Demon Mech, and he gets the Hanzo! Walter Div is just farming right now. He starts at the Dynamite, and this isn't even an opening anymore. He just is winning them this fight. Twinkie! He's looking for another. He gets Twinkie too. I mean, Walter Diff right now is just... it says it in the name. He's currently just diffing them. That was a one fight for Elk, but Walter kills everything. And he's still hunting for everything. More.
And Twinkie Tire literally did nothing but go over the cart and kill absolutely nothing. And now they only have Beat and Bomb going into this, but Flux is already out.
Ooh, Smiles tries to challenge Walter, and he actually does win out that battle, but Robot Ninja edges back and is probably going to get this res. Twinkie has swapped to this Widowmaker and did get a pick, but I don't know if Elk have the resources to finish this fight out. Bomb is on cart, seeing if he can find anything, but stands in the Molten Core, melts away. Wow. I mean, that was incredible from specifically Walter. I mean, again, they won that fight, but Walter says, don't worry guys, I got this. I'm gonna mix them up. This Elk remix, I'm gonna mix them up. And and just absolutely demolishes them. And that's a great hold. But it's not over yet, because we have a defense from Elk now. And I'm very interested in seeing what they've got.
I mean, it definitely was one of those instances where Elk kind of just threw, like, they just tossed that fight. Not only did they win the fight and then let, you know, the pocketed Ash start killing everything. When they got the next fight going, they just started throwing ults into it, and it was just going willy-nilly. You had Twinkie sitting there on cart, using Bomb to get a total of absolutely nothing. They did nothing to get to get Walter off of the high ground or even put pressure on him, and the only time they did go up to contest the high ground, they went after the Baptiste. And the Baptiste just sat there and watched the Diva Mech die. Oh, what a very unfortunate turn of events for Elk. What a great defense and great hold for Artemis. And now this will be really interesting. You see that they're coming, that same pocket Ash Torbjorn looked at that Artemis had on defense. But you see the Sig Hog coming out on the side of the offense. A bit more comp type vibe of a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, because again, this is a map where getting full holds I think is very easy, and we're talking about Walter Diff, but Smiles has been playing really great this series too, and now he's the one who has that pocket on the Ash. So I'm very interested in this matchup between Walter Diff and Smiles. I think it's going to be very interesting. Both teams rocking with with Sigmas, but one team very specifically has something you might not normally see in your poke comps, and that is Frosty Dog on the Roadhog. Very interested to see how that works. He's already gotten value. Look at that, Frosty Dog Roadhog. It's going hard, and Artemis are just rolling over, despite having a double shield comp on this defense. Elk are just kind of falling over. The off angles are just way too strong. Someone needs to put that in check.
Yeah, I mean, the shield management there, the shield just kind of just got poked out through all the different angles. They couldn't cover it all at once. Once the shields were gone, they got the hook that opened the fight, and it was just smooth sailing for Artemis. And then they got another pick.
Bond gets the Reza, and it's not over yet, but Walter is just... I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. Walter is seriously just demolishing right now. Twinkie falls to Diddy as well. Ultra been committed because Elk know that if they can win this fight, it's a big step for them, but Karsta's rolling through, and 5 minutes per second point.
5 minutes indeed, and they got so many more ults to go. They have both tank ults and both a window, and they're almost a Valk. Where on the side of Elk, you only have Valk, and then maybe in the middle of the fight you start getting your tank ults, but they already have the Flux. The Flux is going to end up forcing that Valkyrie out, and they're not going to be able to use that Valkyrie to output damage and go on the offensive, which is probably going to really harm the hero on this push.
Yeah, we'll see. Ults coming in from both sides, and Frosty Dog finds Spawn. I mean, this is definitely like a left field, like crazy pick, but oh my god, Twinkie coming on this flank. This is kind of what Twinkie does. He goes on the flanks and he rolls the dice of whether he gets max value or low value. And right now he got a lot of value, but the rest of the team just is still crumbling apart. This hog pick, LKF have no solutions, and they're gonna be struggling to touch here with 4 ultimates online. I don't even know if they can touch. Fongolf is gonna have the value. Just a touch and he's getting melted. I don't think anyone touches. That was a rough hold for Elk, but great play from Artemis. Completely different from what we saw map 1. Map 1, very close back and forth, and Elk just...
Oh, it's his first 3K tire.
Just barely, winning it out, but this was a complete domination. Twinkie gets the play of the game. Look, this is the play that I watched personally. I mean, no one hears him, sees him, except the turret. If this series keeps on going on like that map, Elk are in for some trouble. But it's tied 1-1, so it's not over yet.
Yeah, definitely definitely going to end up being some big plays here that Elk need to come out with. They did not handle multiple angles very well. The Hog was always on a flank, and when the Hog wasn't flanking, the Hanzo was on this really wide off angle, and since no one kept him in check, they kind of just started collapsing under the pressure. The shield started burning through, and then they just got kind of ran over. Very tough game for Elk, but great showing for Artemis. Hopefully they get to keep pulling that through, and they can keep going and maybe walk out with a 3-1. You never know. You never know.
For sure. Well, we're going to be right back after just a small break, and we're going to be going to Hollywood next when we're back. Okay, guys, we just take a little bit of a break there, but we're entering into Hollywood, which makes me very nervous for Elk because this map plays out very similarly to the way Route 66 would. And I would say it's even worse if you're a team fighting against someone like Walter, who just was clicking your head on Ash, and I know for sure that what they're gonna do on this map is put Walter on Ash and give him a mercy pocket again, or at least that's what I would expect uh, from a map like Hollywood. More specifically on defense, is where I'd expect that. But this is where Elk need to ground themselves a bit. Try to all right, slow it down. Let's regroup. How are we gonna turn this around? Looks like they want to open up on a double shield with a Zenyatta this time. Zenyatta is actually one of Fawn's like more comfort characters. Probably better than all of us can say. Get a pause here. It looks like. If we could get a pause.
Pause.
Get a pause. Get a pause. There we go. Just a little bit of pause here. Looks like Diamond isn't here, but yeah. I'm going to talk more about Fauna. I've known Fauna for a long time. Zen is one of his more comfort characters. He plays a lot of main support, but Zenyatta is like, you know, his thing. Yeah, it looks like a very pokey. It's interesting that they keep going with his Tor pick. I think it's to ward off any flanks from a. They know they like to play ball comps, so I think that's what they're going for. And on the opposing side, it looks like they're going to be playing a very divey ball comp. They have the Mercy, they have the Zen. It's very high risk and a lot of damage. Yep. And it looks like the team is going to be ready now, so we're going to head it back in now. Game's about to start. We're going to see what Diamond picks, and we're going to get right in. Echo.
Yeah, these comps definitely look really interesting here. I mean, that Diamond's in, so you know there's going to be they're playing at least one of the Flyers, and playing the Zenyatta here instead of the Lucio compared to what they did on Ilios well could be bringing up a bit more poke to get through some of those shields. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend you weren't super robotic-y there. It looks like that they're gonna be very divey here. Walter's already on this off angle. This is what he was more playing on Ilios, and we're gonna see what they're going. This is very slow. I like this. They're taking their time to set up Atomic Man. He's on the side, he's getting ready for a slam. Ooh, but the rollout doesn't quite work in his favor. He's just gonna go right behind him. Discord's on Robot, and the big slam. People are off the high ground. This is the chance to go dig. Finds the pick onto Smiles, and now it's go time. They're gonna focus targets. Fawn gets the pick onto Walter, so it's a good little start there if they want to turn this around. But I don't think that Elk are gonna be working with much here. But I say that Fawn has been absolutely killing stuff right now, but he eventually falls, and yeah, Artemis are just cleaning house, and that should be a pretty clean finish to point one. Smiles though, they're actually coming back. Elk is turning this around. Smiles is just killing. He's
touch. Where's the reset? Where did the reset go?
Oh, so close. They almost had that, but in the end, it's gonna be going to Artemis here, and they have 5 minutes to push through second point.
Yeah, very similar time bank, pretty much the exact same time bank as they had on Route 66. This time they're playing a bit more of a divey comp instead of the hog sig, but still pressuring those angles really, really well. And they, as you've seen, they've just kind of fallen over from it.
Smouse is getting singled out here. A thing to notice here is that instead of playing the Zen Bap, Fawn is now moved over to the Bap, and they have Zulu on break. It's even more counter divey. So it's going to be interesting how Artemis decide to approach this, because if they overstep, they can very easily get blown up. Especially with the lack of healing. Mercy's End, there's no real sustain. And Smiles, opening with pick, Smiles is really wanting to take this game into his own hands, and now he's taking the off angle, looking to cancel the res. Mercy's won, but turret's gonna end up falling him. You can see the turret is in the enemy team's backline, just existing there. And now it looks like Elk is gonna be cleaning up. Smile's still on this off angle, but Diamond has this flux and is getting max value. This copy from Diamond, he's been consistently getting value, both on Ilios and now on this round. Echoes definitely seems like his forte, and they're just rolling through. Smiles once again getting a pick. Smiles is the primary person keeping them in the game.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely nice to see Diamond back in the game, playing his flyers that he's known to play, and his Echo's always been really dangerous.
Look at the touch.
Damn. And that's really big. They gotta hope that they don't end up getting a stagger fight here.
Ooh. And I don't know how to feel about this swap. Smiles goes over to the Mei, but I don't know what the goal here is. He can try and freeze up anyone overextending, but the Ashe is just getting way more value and can cancel out the Diamond way more, but now we're just going to be going in. Walter, it doesn't matter what Walter plays on. Oh, never mind. Smiles just hits him with an icicle. It doesn't matter. This has been the battle of Smiles and Walter, it feels like, and then who can keep up with the rest of the teams. It looks like they're going to be a sort of small reset here for Walter. But the third is re-engaged with the minefield. Walter once again gets another pick. Smiles down. Twinkie. I mean, Walter is struggling against these projectile characters. It feels like he gets his value and is right on out. Elk have to use that lamp. They have ultimates to work with. There's the bongo. It's in a little bit of an exposed spot, but if they can get value out of this before it's destroyed, it will be good. Health pools are very low for Elk. Artemis,
yeah,
just,
and it's
we're waiting.
It is. It's definitely one of those things. Like they just needed to reset. That now they have a grounds, they might be able to pop some of these ults, but big ults coming in through.
Lots of us coming on both sides. Both support ults were used at the same time. Sime coming in for Atomic, and now I think Artemis are going to be struggling to fight this, especially because of that rally. And now Twiggy is committing. The Riptire gets one, and Fawn also used the window, which I'm not a fan of. I feel like Elk might have overcommitted to this fight. Artemis committed a lot too, but I think that was because they thought they could win the attack and finish the map. But now there's only the Flux and the Blizzard to work with on the side of Elk.
Yeah, but if you look at the ult bank on the other side, it's not like they have much to worry about either. They've got a pulse bomb coming out, but outside of that, they pretty much have either no ults or swap their characters, so they've got nothing really going.
Swapping.
Full swap now. So there's no ults, and now they have a Flux and a Blizzard to walk into. This is still a very defendable position for Elk.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this brawl swap. Flux comes out, does get one, and they're gonna be falling so weak now. They have no Reinhardt to protect them. Diamond gets the pick, but I don't think that's enough. Missing your Reinhardt and that shield, it's just way too much. And again, you know, I want to say this again. I don't think I like this swap. The Mei, the Junk, the Brig. How do you brawl into this? Like without getting some major mistakes forced out from Elk.
I mean, you're gonna have to try to hope that you can catch Twinkie on his flank before he gets his value.
He's not even on his flank though. He's chilling with his team. He's learned his lesson after last map. Ooh, Fawn's getting poked out, and actually Fawn away from his team, way in the back, gets poked out by Walter on an off angle. And this was the mistake that they were hoping for. Twinkie! Wow, Twinkie does not want his team to lose. I mean, he's on his signature character, right? And now Zulu is fighting the Reaper on the side, but is getting collapsed on. A little bit of overextension, but he's actually just a bait and explode. Because Twinkie collapses and capitalizes on that flank that they took. And now, it's just a messy battle. But Twinkie's killing everyone. I mean, does it matter how messy it is if you have the messiest DPS in the league right now popping off on Junkrat?
And another one, and another one, and the fucking other one. Twinkie is just going off. He's finding these off angles, and he's getting these kills. It's going to be really hard for him to poke into this, having to worry about Twinkie on his off angles, and the fact that they can't just walk into the amount of stun and CC and the overall survivability and sustain that Elk has. It's going to be really difficult. I don't see them doing, but they do have some big ults coming. Never mind. There's one of them out the window.
Twinkie just opening up every fight, and he has another Riptire. A key thing to notice is that they're now on Ryan Zarya Elk. They decided to swap, and Rockstar has a Shatter. That happened all between that chaos and big old fight coming up. But look at Twinkie. Look at him. He's on the flank. He's doing a signature move. Wait, actually, wait. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows that Artemis is walking up to them right now. Okay, he's dropped. He's safe. I was worried there for a second. But they've claimed this high ground, but what are they going to do with the high ground? That's the question. They're gonna drop. Twiggy's in danger. He's gonna need some help. Item comes over from Walter. That's Twinkie. That's the Riptide. That's the big win condition. It's up to Rockstar now to hit this slam. There's so many ultimates coming out now from Artemis that it's looking pretty questionable. Big slam
big
on Rockstar. They don't even get a chance to use these ultimates they have. They have 3 ultimates, but they haven't been able to use one. Wait, Twinkie's dropping in. Wait, they don't know. They don't see him. They're all one. They're all so weak. I'm not sure where the Blizzard went.
Blizzard?
Oh, wait. Why? We're gonna ignore that. And, awkward Blizzard from Smiles. I'm not sure why he threw it over there and not at the team. It might have been just a small misplay, but man, Twinkie almost had that. They were all weak. The big thing that helped that engage from the start was actually Walter once again. I mean, what can I say? Every time it's the engagement for Artemis, it's Walter does something. He went to that top right high ground for the attackers and found Twinkie early, and that was the key for Artemis to go. But if you're Elk, you're happy because when they capped first point, they had 5 minutes, and now they only capped with overtime. So that's a plus. So if they can make a good push with even just a little bit of time, they're gonna be looking at a good advantage.
You're hoping that you can see this, but last time they went on the hope that we hope that the English is hard today. Wow. What we're hoping not to see is Elk having a similar type of push that they did on Route 66, where they kept running in and beating their heads into this really big poke comp that, of course, Artemis is going to be opening up on defense, double shield, pocket Ash, Walter is given that mercy again, and now they have a Torbjorn for if they try to do any sort of flanks. If they keep beating their head running this brawl into the poke and they don't close in and they don't actually get in their faces, they're gonna end up struggling, especially if they get past to get to them anyways. Oh, pause.
Yeah, pause. Looks like a bit of a DC here from Atomic. That's going to lose a lot of ult charge there.
Yeah.
That's actually a little bit unlucky. I don't know if the BA code spawns them right in, so I think that's going to be a bit of an unlucky start for them. I don't know if it'll matter too much because the game hasn't started yet, but the Ursa will have to walk from spawn, which is an advantage, I guess. Advantage gifted from heaven for Elk. The
Go,
gods
go!
truly wants Elk to get every advantage they can.
Go!
Looks like he's back in the lobby. We're gonna have to wait to see for them to ready up again, of course. These comments are very interesting. This is very similar to how Elk approached Route 66, where they wanted to play the brawl with a lot of poke, and teams are readying up now. I think we're good to go back in. I think we just gotta wait for confirmation from Elk. I'll ask him if Elk ready. And before too long, we should be back in. Just gotta wait for Elk.
I mean, that's gonna be really...
both teams are ready.
Oh, both teams ready. Not having that Aristas at the start is gonna be really tough. Hopefully the BACO does have the funny TP thing, but I don't think it does.
Nope, looks like he's taking the walk of shame. So this is their one chance. If they probably to come back fast, that would be my guess. Walter, though, I don't even know if it matters because Walter has this. What can I say? Twinkie is coming alive now this map, and yeah, losing that. I mean, honestly, the big thing is that's a very unlucky DC. But people are clicking ahead, such as Twinkie here, and now it's just cleanup because if they don't clean up fast, this Atomic, he's gonna stall point. And there might be some respawns coming back. But it looks like Elk are cleaning up just fine. Slam coming onto point, but not too much he can do about this to turn the fight. Just gonna be rolling around and just gonna get cleaned up. So yeah, 6 minutes on the time bank for Elk. A pretty good time bank. Perhaps based off some luck, but good nonetheless.
Better time, better team, I guess. Coming into this fight though, you do have the high ground, and it's going to be a very big thing. They swapped over to the double hit scan. This is going to definitely open up a lot of angles to try to poke this brawl out. Hopefully the brawl, they either take the space or fight on top of each other, and they can, manage the pressure coming in from multiple angles.
For sure. I think it's very interesting that Atomic decided to stay on the ball. I feel like you would much rather the Orisa for the poke on top. All really that Atomic can do is just stall the point. Twinkie builds a lot of space with that dragon, forces them onto the back high ground, and now picture coming out. Twinkie's gonna try to stop the charge, and he does. That's very close, and he gets it. This is max value. Elk are making a crazy push right now because they're at the end of the second point, and they still have almost 5 minutes. And if they cap this, I mean, Smiles just gets another pick. Twinkies and Smiles are really stepping up this tween. And look at this, they're getting pick after pick. Minefield comes out, and yeah, these ultimates committed are going to really even out this. Yeah, Atomic with that Minefield puts enough space for them. Their Elk are going to have to reset, but they have 4 minutes, over 4 minutes, just to win one fight to get onto second.
Yeah, but hopefully they don't have to worry. Flux?
If they can get these picks, I don't know about that. Don't know how I feel about that move. Good try, but, you know, little rough.
I'm definitely interested to see in what kind of rotation they want to take to try to close in the distance. They look like they're ready to go all the way underneath.
Oh, they're going straight to point. Yeah, they know their win condition. They just gotta go straight to point. Now, they have to fight on the point now. And the card's right there. Atomic's the only one who can stall. Bob isn't quite on point, and Twinkie gets the opening pick. He is fragging on Hanzo. Fawn maybe doesn't need to be, but he commits it just to make sure no one's falling here. They want to clean this up. Zulu's falling weak, and he gets fallen. He's taken down. Frosty is taking out a mech, and Twinkie finishes him off, but I'm not sure who's going to be able to this fight, because point Big Bomb! Wow. Big Bomb, and they cap the pick. They have 5 minutes on third. This is a disaster for Artemis. And Diamond commits that visor and just runs away. I think the big thing is the lack of value from these ultimates on the side of Artemis compared to these, I mean, really, really good value ults on the side of Elk.
Yeah, I mean, you've been the whole point of this was to see if they can finally take that brawl and mitigate the fact that they can come from these multiple angles. And Artemis kind of has just thrown it to the wayside. They kind of all huddle on top of each other, not really split up very much, and they just let them get the point. And then, of course, you know, ults came out left and right, and the big bomb to close it out. Definitely really crazy. And now it's the final stretch, and they have 4 minutes.
Point is just moving right now. They swapped over to the Broad to try to mirror, and Diamond does finally get a pick onto Twinkie. Widow's going to be here to try and even out the playing field, but I don't know how much he can do without that insane Hanzo damage. It's going to be up to Rockstar. Maybe if he can get a big slam, this fight would be over. It's up to him, but Fawn falls weak. If I'm Elk, I just reset. Don't commit any ults. You just have to win one fight. One fight, and you're golden.
Big thing here is they're going to have to try to dislodge this soldier. Diamond got a lot of value just sitting above them, shooting them, and no one looked at him. And therefore, he just kept pick after pick, and eventually it caught up to them. They were down too much, and they just had to back out. Coming into this, though, you've got a lot of ults about to come online for the side of Artemis. This could be one of those really big back-and-forth fights with a lot of ultimates coming through. It's going to be a really exciting fight. Hopefully it goes well.
Looks like Elk is doing the same thing that Elk did at the end of their attack, where they rotated all the way, cleared off high ground. There's no way Diamond can be up here. And now they have all this high ground, and Smiles is going to have that high noon, so I mean, there's going to be so much space created. It's a big dynamite from Walter. Look at his ultra just skyrocket up. He has bombed this fight. The rotating comes out, there's the speed boost, it's coming out, but the counter rotates, that's the window, alright. No one's even using that window right now. There's the dragons too. I mean, right now it seems like sides have completely swapped. A big slam. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there, but 3 ults came out from Elk, and none of them seemed like they were gonna really work. I mean, window was placed, and then they kept walking.
Yeah, it was definitely really weird. You have the ult come out there, the dragon, that was a bit of a whiff, didn't really hit the things that I was looking for. But coming into this, the ults are still on this favor of Elk. They have 3 more ults coming into this. Both sides have a beat. One side definitely does the window, that is the Artemis. But they have both tank ults coming into this. That could be huge. A big shatter bomb would definitely turn the tide of this and could finish the map.
The thing is that Rockstar has had Shatter since the beginning of Better Academy. I mean, I'm waiting for music. He finally uses it, and it's all right. He uses it, you know. But these ultimates now, unlike first and second point, the ultimates just aren't
That's
getting value.
big
But
wall.
that wall was just insane. This is where Elk has to clean up. They can't fall. They can't lose anymore. But Fawn. I mean, Walter Diff is just absolutely popping off, and Fawn is the one paying the price. Diva Mech is on point. Oh, Robot just trapped the point, and picture coming out. That Diva Bomb might be what they needed. They have to pick up these kills, though. Atomic's on the ground. He has to get blown up. You have to focus Reinhardt. People are down. Are they going to be able to cap? They can't cap with a minute, but they're going to cap with time. So, they have 2 minutes now. Great finish. Great wall. Smiles. But just seems like a hit scan player, but also just has a strangely insane May. I mean, his May walls have been great.
And
This
that
is
was
a great bush milk.
Yeah, now you would think and say like yes, capping with time with this on this map is ridiculous, especially because it's really hard to cap some of these hybrid maps. This one being one of those ones with a lot of time, if any time at all. But you gotta give it to Artemis to take all of that time off the clock. They had almost 5 minutes to push that last point, and they only capped with 57 seconds. I'll take that as a complete dub. They kind of definitely turned the tides of it to a much closer game. Yeah, they still have 2 minutes compared to your 1, but that is much more winnable than compared to having like fighting into 3 minutes or not even getting to do a fight at all and hope for a draw because you didn't have any time.
For sure, those 3 seconds really did count.
Oh.
And now
Lux
we're going to be
diff.
looking at the defense, and I think I like this approach a lot more on the defense from Elk. You have a lot of spam, but you're very defensive. Any sort of you have the only way to really beat this comp is if you can outpoke them. But I don't know if Artemis is going to start on poke, and if it looks like they're not. And if they're not going to have enough time to swap really. We'll see how this works, but
Cool.
attack's going to be starting now. Twinkie, of course, just gets the spawn kill, and that's precious time off the time bank, right? There's now only 45 seconds left, and Walter's just now coming out of spawn. So you're already pretty much in last fight territory. Like, this is the only fight that Artemis can take. They have to win it. And Walter gets trapped again. There's 30 seconds left, and they haven't made it all the way across the choke. Twinkie on Junkrat is just getting max value. This is going to be a tough fight to take, especially since Twinkie is 40% to his riptide already. We just got to see how if Elk can close this out. They all drop really early. I don't know if they need to do that. And health bars are falling weak. Atomic Frizz gets blown up. This is a good start, but Mainstays are both treated out. It's now down just to the clutch, and trades are coming out from both sides. Twinkie is getting big value right now once again. Gets both, yes, if he can find Walter, and yeah, that was Twinkie's round. And what a perfect, they needed that hold. They needed that full hold to try and turn this tide around. Elk have made really good adaptations to this map, and now it's time for them to attack.
Yeah, that was a really impressive hold there from Elk on the side of Elk. They did Twinkie just did Twinkie things. Right as you think, hey, Overwatch has been out since 2016, and Junkrat's been in the game since 2016. But people are still getting spawn killed. And you never think it'd happen, and next thing you know, Twinkie just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that trap, blow that person up. Walter's never gonna get back. Walter just doesn't get to play the game anymore. He's just gonna stay still. Perma get trapped. Come to find out, Overwatch has actually snuck into the servers and have changed Twinkie's like junk stats, and he has trap on a 2-second cooldown. True fact. You can look at it. But like, what are they gonna do now? You have to full hold. You don't have any percent to your name. You didn't even get a tick, and you have a red hot Elk coming into this. Because Elk had 6 minutes going into point 2. Yes, there was a DC and they didn't have their atomic on Narissa, and that could be the difference here, which would be a really big turn for them if they do get this full hold. But it's so unlikely. Twinkie is back on the Hanzo. He was popping off on the attack on the Hanzo. He got the opening pick last attack. We'll see how this is gonna end up going. I do not like the looks for Artemis right now. Elk's definitely got a big advantage here with that full hold.
At the bare minimum, this is going to a map 5. I mean, this is a draw or win scenario, so no matter what, this is going to be a long series. Be ready for the trip, folks, because this is going to be a long one. Diamond's on Junkrat now. This is super, this is like as spammy as spam can get from Artemis. But, you know, Elk, they're doing the same thing they did last round. They're taking all the way around, avoiding all the poke. They have full reinforcements and they're putting pressure on point, and now they have to react. Someone has to drop. They're already halfway to that one tick they need. Trade's coming out. Water falls, and once again, Trade's coming on both sides. They're still brawling. They want to try and clean this up, because if the more picks they get, the faster they come back, and they can potentially win this just based off picks. They're not going to be able to get as much as they want. Twinkie does get Washington, but they won't have res for him in time. So, unlike Artemis, Elk do have another fight to take this. Look at that. They're going to have Shatter. That's pretty much it, but it's a start. And Atomic's on ball now. They're not even going to be able to poke as well.
Yeah, not having that ball up there, the shield up there is the exact thing that opened up the fight last time they were on attack. As soon as that Sigma shield goes down, Hanzo has free reign at that backline and try to dome ahead, and that's exactly what could be happening again.
Ooh, Twinkie kind of feeds his brains out. Twinkie giveth and Twinkie taketh. Now this is very stressful if you're Elk, because you're down a lot of your damage. You're down a lot of your health bars right now. Shatter comes out. It's
Big
huge.
Shatter.
It's the start, but can they even capitalize? They can't. The immortality comes out in time, and this is not looking very winnable for Elk. Twinkie, he swapped over the Junkrat. He wants to turn this around, but can he do it again? Bob's out, and it's not looking likely. And man, that I can't say. Yeah, Walter Diff. I can't say that's only a fumble, and that is a draw. We have had a win, another win, and a draw. I mean, that was peak Overwatch, I guess. If you love chaotic and messy Overwatch, that's the best you're gonna get.
Man, that was such an unfortunate start for the fight for them. Twinkie has been abusing those off angles, and this time he got caught out on it, and it ended up being the reason they lost. Man, you hate to see it. They had such a big time bank, and great job for Artemis. They were able to hold it together. They got the picks where they need to. They clutched up at the end of the map.
Yep, Artemis really held on. They really did hold on to that. Great play. So now we're gonna be taking another break. It's 1-1, and we'll be back on Havana.
Havana, Unana.
All right, guys, we're back again. Uh, Still score 1-1. Hollywood ended in a draw. Neither team was able to get a take on first point, and now we're going over to Havana. We once again have a sub. Diddy's coming back in. I'm sure Gaio in chat is very happy that Diddy is back. Uh, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting map. I think we saw a lot of the team's strength last map, especially Twinkie on Junkrat. I think that has been clearly what he's making the most impact on. He's winning fights by himself on Junkrat. And it looks interesting.
Attackers incoming.
Looks like brawl mirrors from both sides.
Yeah, to be very interested to see if Zulu actually walks out with this on a. It might just be a spawn hold thing where he pops out and hits a nade and they just walk in. But if they end up trying to commit to this Ana the entire time, it's going to be a lot of weird type of fights. You don't have the same AoE type heals to keep the sustain up, but at the same time you do now have the win condition of just popping nano every 30 seconds and potentially just winning fights. So we'll see how it goes.
There's a close hold. Yeah, that's definitely what they want to go for. They want that nade. But the big thing is definitely going to be the drunk red. The amount of spam that's going to be coming through, they're just walking it and just doing so much damage. But Frosty's already lost his mech, so that's a big thing. Who's going to stop Twinkie from just kaboom, blowing everything up, right? Atomic's coming up on the shatter already, way ahead of Rockstar at the moment. But again, the damage from Twinkie and Smiles just it freezes way too much. Big slam. It's 4 people, and that might be enough just to win this fight. But the trades aren't exactly coming up for them. They only get Smiles off that, and they're still full steam ahead. More or less, they're hesitating to walk a bit, but Twinkie, there was a trap at the Lucio, and blows him up. Twinkie now is on the side fighting Walter himself, the legend. And that's going to be Elk, just cleaning house.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't necessarily get the big nade that they were looking for. They walked up and were able to block it instantly. But now they're switching, Remix is switching over to playing a bit more of a poke. They switched to the double shield. They had their spawn hold. They got their minute and 10 seconds off the clock. They still have window, but they're walking into a lot of ultimates. Elk have everything but nano coming into this. So it's going to be a really difficult fight for them to win.
Yeah, very interesting. Ooh, great headshot from Smiles. Truly just hitting these left triggers on the main. And oh, that blizzard is juicy. He trades for wait, he gets 2. It gets 2 final blows. You do not see that every day. 2 final blows for the blizzard. And yeah, I think it was always going to be tough for Artemis to turn that because full swapping to the double shield, you have no ultimates to fight against compared to Elk, who just dumped ults.
And they still have 3 more to dump into this fight, and the only ultimate that Remix is close to at this point is their Hanzo ult. They might be able to build Bob quickly if they get a big dynamite, but it's gonna be again a really tough fight for Remix to try to get back into this. Not Remix, Artemis. My goodness, my bad.
Yep, you can see Rockstar is just trying to make his way up. They're moving the cart right now. He just wants to get in there. You see he has a shatter, but Walter, actually Diddy just sends the dragon, just halts any progress they have, and now they have to walk. Rockstar, he only has about half of his health. He's getting killed up now, but the pulls, the dragons, there's nothing that Rockstar can do to actually walk up. But what they are getting right now is insane car progress. It's been relatively uncontested this entire time, and it's about to turn the corner again. It's already making its way past the stairs, and Rockstar's up here. He's looking for the slam. Is he gonna be able to get it? Shield's up right now, but they're just walking in. Artemis have had no answer to just Elk, just walking forward. They're just walking forward. They're not even committing many ultimates for this walk. Obviously, Fawn commits the beat to keep them in the game, and they use Nano at the end there. But yeah, I wouldn't even call that really a team fight. They just kind of walked forward and took point.
Not only did they just walk forward and take point, they didn't use anything but nano and beat going into that. They still have both their tankles and have already built up both of the DPS ults again. Big pick coming out, and this is going to be really hard on Brawl because this is the really tough, long sightlines, heavy poke type part of the map. So this is going to be interesting.
For sure, but at the same time, Elk has 4 ults that they can all commit here. Sure, Artemis, Elk has the 4 ults, right? And Artemis, they also have their ultimates, but I think as long as Rockstar can speed in there and use them, I don't know how much impact the value is going to be coming from Artemis ults. That dragon they just sidestep, they slide to the right. And that was it. And now the Blizzard's coming in, it's chucked in there, and it's building some. Oh my god, that's a flying horse! You see that? Like, Artemis flying off the map. And again, it's just Elk. That's all that's happening right now is Elk is getting max value. Big slam, take out the alpha threat of Walter. And he actually oversteps right there and actually does get traded out. And now Frostdog will be committing that flux. Everyone's really weak right now, but the cart is still moving. It's at the end of the map.
The big thing there is, like, as soon as they finally started busting the thing open, they didn't really commit on the one target altogether, and they ended up getting poked out. So very tough break at the end of that, because they could have had a massive time bank. 3 minutes plus even, if they were to actually commit and walk in with the Ryan, but that good hold on Artemis. They still have a bunch of ults on the side of Elk, so it's going to be really hard for Artemis to keep this, so...
Oh, that Demon Bomb's in there. Oh, it forces out Immortality too. They're going to be finding this map. I think that's one shot. It's just going to be swinging now. They have so much health right now, and Cart is rolling in. They have to struggle to catch her right now, and they're just swinging on Bat. Bat falls. It's only the ball of the stall. They have to take him out, though. They can't let him stall here. Bob's on the point, but it just misses point. It's actually not stalling right now. It's a great minefield to start something, and Walter diff. He gets both supports. I mean, what can I say? He kills 3. He's just the alpha threat for this team. The stall from Atomic gives Walter that time to build Bob, throw it on point, get the dynamite, get the picks. And now, great hold. Nonetheless, 2 minutes left for Elk.
And this is where we're going to start seeing why this brawl comp kind of start fading out for them, because it is really hard to fight this last point. You have to be right on top of each other and really coordinated to close this fight out with how long and how easy it is to stall. But it's also a lot of poke to run into. You're going to run into this fight and he's already got like no shield.
For sure, but the ults are building up. Smiles almost has another Blizzard, and the point is still rolling through. If he just Blizzard's points, there's nothing they can do about it. He already has another Bob, but they're just using it. Shatters the map, but this team isn't exactly that helpful. That's a great pick from Twinkie. Now Blizzard's on point. If they can just clean up points, there's a potential for having this, but no. I think the problem with Oak with this whole series is committing your ultimates like too late or not doing it early enough. I want to see Elk use their ults entering the fight instead of exiting the fight. Walter is just unstoppable. Now we're entering pretty much classified territory, considering how much it takes to walk, and this is an interesting move from Elk. This is probably the comp I've ever seen. I'm not quite sure what they're playing. They probably just want to try and move point here, maybe get a nano onto your Reaper with the disruption from the ball. But your Diva's already had a mech. Oh, just before bomb. Nano comes out, but yeah, it's gonna be probably just a loss here. This point right here, this specific section where you get past the gate is incredibly difficult to push past. And I want to say this, you know, as Rockstar is desperately trying to touch, you know, this looks like it might have been like a fumble from Elk, but Havana is one of maybe the toughest map to push in the game. So getting it that far, that dominantly, is like until you got there is really impressive. And I think if Elk can pull out that brawl again, they have very high hopes of maybe taking this map. But they have to get past Walter, which is, I mean, that is a tough task.
Yeah, Walter has definitely left his mark on this game in multiple instances. He's been clicking heads, he's been diffing any other DPS who tries to step on him, unless it is Twinkie Junkrat, because Twinkie Junkrat just does shit and it doesn't make sense. But you never know. This could be a good time for the Elk, because Elk seems to have the upper hand right now in the Brawl Mirror. So if they end up going for a hold up in the spawn room and they keep it and they don't let Artemis swap off of the Brawl comp and they keep the Artemis into a position where they're having to mirror them rather than being able to play poke into them, they might end up having a good advantage here. This is one of like you said, this is a really difficult map to finish or to get any progress on at all. It's like one of the most commonly full held maps in the game, second held maps in the game, and it's ridiculously hard to get third map. It's just a really hard map, and now they're being able to play their comfort comp with defender's advantage. So it's going to be a bit interesting.
Now this is a comp. This is definitely a comp that they're playing to try and break this like full hold. They have all these different like angles where they can get picks. They have Walter on Farah. Atomic just went for that hook and swept into Ryan. But this is going to be tough because this brawl, all Elk has to do is walk into the brawl before Walter can do anything. Now Walter does a lot of things, but the Farah particularly it can be a bit slow to actually get that value. And Twinkie went for a very like interesting play. He tried to go up and kill the Farah himself. And actually, the D.Va's had a mech already, so this is getting max value. Losing that D.Va early is worst case, and that's a crazy fast window. And that close hold didn't end up getting much value at all. Walter on the Farah, just way too much for them to handle. Walter in general.
Walter in general, indeed. Walter is definitely diffing the crap out of some of the people on Elk, but now that they have now that the spawn hold has been broken, the thing is though is like they are going to stay on. Elk is going to end up staying on Brawl, and it's going to be weird playing this Pharmacy with the Reinhardt. It's just going to end up being very awkward. So we're going to have to see if the not having that speed is going to affect anything, or if Elk uses their speed advantages to their advantage.
Oh my god, Twinkie. Oh my gosh. He's just the best Junkrat ever. I don't know what to say. He took notes from like a BBT himself, and now they're pushing it forward with this window, and they're taking that corner. Gotta be careful not to overstep, but Stalia has that high energy and wants to get that grab because that grab is going to be one of the biggest win conditions. And you know, just the close hold wasn't great, but 2 minutes are off the clock, and they have ultimates.
Yeah, they definitely have beat and they have the shatter, and Twinkie has another tire. So we'll see how this is going to end up going. They open up with Valk though, very good ultimate to walk in with.
For sure, they're going in there. I know Walter wants this barrage because there's no D.Va to stop it. Adora gets one. It's a good B. It doesn't save Zulu, but it is going to give him a chance to fight back. They don't have shield, so this is Rockstar's chance to shatter potentially. But he's holding on to it. He knows he doesn't need it. Great answering back. I mean, Fawn with that beat was clutch. It didn't save Zulu, but it was enough for them to walk forward and clean house. And now, we're closing in on a minute left.
Yeah, not only is it about a minute left, there's a lot of ults on the side of Artemis, but you don't need as many ults. You've got the Noon, you've got the Shatter on the side of Elk, you've got things to make it work, and boom, Twinkie does crazy things.
Jeez,
his man is just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. He bends physics.
And now he's swapping to Hanzo just so we can try and outrange this Junkrat, but I don't think anything can outrange Twinkie. He seems unstoppable right now, and Grav is coming really close, and Twinkie...
Oh no,
off the
kill Twinkie!
He's getting... Oh, okay, he lives. He lives. That's a good D.Va bomb, it's gonna build so much space. Which it lands on the top, it doesn't blow anything up, that's so tragic. Atomic does get smiles, so it's a good opening, and if... Okay, Shatter's...
Twinkie!
30 seconds remain, and Twinkie just killing everything. There is just no... They just don't have an answer for Twinkie Junkrat. He's putting out so much value right now. And that was all their ultimates. Look at that. Artemis have nothing left. That was it. All they have left is the Lord himself, Walter Diff. But Walter Diff is facing against a Grav, a Window, a High Noon, and a Shatter, so... take the good with the bad.
He already popped it. Very early pop, but
So, oh my,
goodness.
great from DJ, and he just slams. He just slams it. He says, "Sit down. I'm taking this map." And now all it is cleanup. They gotta focus down the Lucio, take out this ball, whose Atomic is running out of health. He gets that over adaptive shields, but he's now fallen. Walter the Lord, he can't do it. And wow, dominance, absolute dominance from Elk. I think this is something that not a lot of people expected. I saw a lot of people in chat, a lot of people talk about this game, that they thought that this was just going to be a clean sweep for Artemis. But now we're in a situation, we're going to the next control map, and Elk is up 2-1, looking to close us out. So, wow.
Yeah, that is a very big win for the side of Elk, and it really proves the fact that they have an upper hand in the brawl mirror. They have Twinkie Junkrat, and the fact that he's able to get away with some of the different angles and the different off angles that he just knows and can execute, and the fact that he's just in their backline sometimes without getting punished, or even if he does get punished, it's already after he gets a pick or two, or he's already ripped a tire and gotten like your entire backline. It's like they are struggling in a brawl mirror to close Twinkie and actually get him to not, blow up the team.
You know what map's next? It's
Oh
Lijiang
no.
Tower.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's where we're gonna leave that. We're gonna take it on a break, and we'll be back on Lijiang Tower. We'll see you guys then.
No.
Alright guys, we're back again. And like I was saying at the end of the last map, we're in Lijiang Tower now, and if I'm right now, after that map where the Brawl Mirror was so in favor of Elk, I'm sweating if I'm Artemis, because this is Lijiang Tower. Probably the best chunk map in the game. Where you can just take absolutely crazy angles and it's so close quarters that it's so hard to break through. But that doesn't mean I think that Artemis is out of this, because Artemis have been great this series, especially, I mean, Walter's been great. Like, he's just been absolutely taking heads, but I'm nervous when I'm against Twinkie. I hope that they're not putting Twinkie on Sim and they're gonna keep him on Junkrat, because that's how they won last map.
No!
They would never take Twinkie off his best hero after carrying. They would never, guys.
No! This is not the script!
They would never. Maybe he's gonna TP him out and swap. Oh, he's doing it. He's TPing out and swap.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna be seeing a Brawl Mirror. One has Sim Junk, and one has, oh my god, DJ is in there. He's just swinging. He put up his big boy pins, and he's just swinging. Oh my gosh, I've never seen someone so alpha, but Von Golf to the turrets. That's a great pick from Smiles. Smiles on this May, and really on pretty much everything he's been on, has been great this series. But I definitely think his May has been his outstanding hero. But now, Elk is on the point, and the health bars for Artemis are low, and they're just falling. I mean, Twinkie was late to the fight, and he has his ripped reach.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
Yep. And
what?
Yeah, this has been crazy. The crazy part of the game is just been the brawl. The Brawl Mirror is where really Artemis has been struggling the most. Walter's gonna have to sim wall soon, but look at the ultimates for Elk. They have them pretty much already, and that's an early window. They have the beats just to get by, but the wall stalls them. Smiles is saved by DJ, and Twinkie gets two. I mean, what else is there to say? Twinkie just killed 3 in the backline, as he does. Killed 4. Diamond, that's actually a good trade, because that means they can't close hold, because they're down Diva Mech, and they're down BAP, so they have to back off.
And their Lucio's still coming back from spawn too. They have no supports right now.
Yeah. So this is where Artemis is gonna have the opportunity to tank, because Diamond, there it is. He knows he don't have Baptiste right now, so the Riptide is gonna be relatively free. And DJ, wow, great Riptide from Diamond. Absolutely what they needed to turn this. And around, Elk is gonna give it around 70%, but they're definitely gonna be losing his objective. Artemis swapping over, and they have a bunch of ults to work with.
Yeah, this is now going to be one of those scary type of situations for Elk. They have to break through all of these ultimates, and they do have a Junkrat of their own. They're just hoping and praying that you guys can get in there and maybe sit one of those blizzards off.
For sure, great window. They got to get past it. I want you to try and get the shatter off, because that's the big thing. Oh, but man, that's a 4-man slam. Absolutely great slam from Atomic. That's the one thing I think this Ryan Mira has been different is, and I think Atomic has consistently been good at hitting these slams. He always gets these very high value slams, and as you see, that wins them a fight by itself.
Yeah, and it's another one of those. It's gonna end up being one of those things over and over and over again. You have to find a way to break through this, and they have the sim, they have the junk, a bunch of ultimates. It's gonna be really difficult to get for them to get in.
For sure, but Twinkie's coming up on this Riptire, which we've seen before. Ooh, it's a tough loss. But again, Twinkie is coming up on this Riptire, which is, I don't think he's gotten a Riptire besides the first map where it wasn't big. They're still walking in. They're not too worried about losing their man. They're going aggressive. Their bombs, and it gets 2. Fantastic bomb. And Fawn follows it up by using beat. They know that if they win this fight, it's over. And Twinkie follows up with a 2K Riptire. I don't think they needed to use beat or Riptire. I'll be honest. I think the 2K bomb was plenty, but they still have ults to work with. So it's all right, I guess. It's last fight territory for Artemis.
It is indeed. So it's gonna be really difficult. That bomb can be a big opener here.
Fantastic Blizzard. It gets the final blow. We've seen so many Blizzard final blows this map. It's actually been crazy, and DJ's in the backline. He slams the Junkrat, and now it's just gonna be Elk trying to clean up, but they're very split right now. B comes on the point, so these contestants are gonna be alive a little longer, and they actually get a trade. They get 2. This is dangerous for Elk. They have to clean up fast if they want to win this, or else the spawns are gonna be way too good. And Atomic's back on ball, and I don't think Elk are gonna be able to win this out. Yeah, the picture coming through, but now Artemis are kind of on an awkward comp for last fight.
Yeah, it's
Twinkie has tire.
And Twinkie does have tire, and there's not an Immor this time to save you guys. So Twinkie's definitely gonna end up getting at least like 3 people in this tire, and it's gonna be a really difficult fight.
Here we go. This is absolutely last fight. Twinkie has built up the Zerp tire, and he's popping it around. They gotta go. They gotta walk onto someone. They've got to get some kind of value on this. He's looking for it. He's looking for this tire, and he gets one. That's good. That's their main source of healing. And now you can see the health bars are dwindling away. Twinkie does fall, but he's already gotten his value, so they just need to clean up. The D.Va has bomb, so they have window bomb. They have so much to clear up point. So they're gonna cap, I think. Oh my god, he just crushes Frosty Dog, but the picture's still coming out. Great beat from Vaughn. Actually doesn't come out onto himself, or he gets blown up. I'm not quite sure. But now Shatter comes up. That's big. The beat is enough to keep them in this fight, and I think that Artemis are getting the advantage in this fight, despite
Big Blizzard
not a brawl comp. Ooh. Wow, what a stick from Diamond. Diamond is absolutely popping off right now. He gets 2 for the price of 1 with that pulse bomb. And now it's just clean up for Artemis. What a strange round so far. I mean, there's still stalls for Elk, but they don't have the same kind of stall potential that the Artemis do. And it's just, Twinkie goes for the pulse bomb and doesn't find anything, and should be the end of this round. And wow, what thought was going to be a pretty one-sided map for Elk was turned around by Artemis. Great plays. You can tell by that fight that they really want to play the ball comp.
Yeah, and now that you got the brawl map out of the way, ball might end up being something they end up trying to force. I would like to see them try to open up on the ball comp here. I understand like TP is really enticing, but I do think that Artemis's best shot in winning this game is going to have them. Is going to end up having them on a flyer with the ball comp, whether you do no backline, whether you pocket the Pharah, whether you just run the Echo with the Zenyatta. Some sort of ball comp should get them over the herd here. They're gonna end up going with no backline.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they want to do. I actually kind of missed the Zen, but the Lucio's not too bad. Atomic is ready to try and get a boop here, but they weren't expecting the TP to be late. Oh, and the Bab gets isolated. He has to use immortality for himself, and the TV's broken. Oh my god, fantastic play. Wow. I mean, the TP didn't come out fast. Smiles struggled with that there a bit, and because of that, they were able to boot people around, and specifically Zulu was on the map. Yeah, Fawn Golf is stepping up though, so this is potentially winnable. The trap, Twinkie trap. Wow, this map makes no sense. The people who have the advantage are losing. It's insane, and that's an absolute turn that you needed for Elk, because losing your BAP early was worst case scenario, but great turnaround from them.
And he still is kind of on par with the rest of his team in ult charge. It's not like he lost out on losing his life super early. He still has about 50% of his ult, which is about on par with the rest of his team. And now now they're set up. You have to walk into a sim. You have to get a perfect dive off.
Yeah, and this sim is just melting. Look at Smiles. He's just absolutely melting. Oh, the Mercy's won. He did so much damage to the D.Va. The Mercy has to back off, and they have nothing to really... my problem is that they don't have the damage. This Lucio here in this fight, there's not much he can do besides just be an annoyance. I think the best thing they can do is probably try and swap to Zenyatta. Maybe get that Discord damage in, but at the moment they're struggling to get any significant moves in. That's a start, you know. That's a start. That's Twinkie. But Fawn knows that they can stay in this fight, and he beats. Oh my god, MTD, not even from the main tank player. There's so many ults into this fight because Elk wants to win this, but I don't know if it's worth it. Smiles is just currently dancing around his shield, and they're gonna get 70%, but they also got 70% last round. So I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, now you're coming into this. Now you have to push into the full chaos of the ball comp without being set up on this point. You do have the ability to TP, and they can't necessarily take that away from you this time. Hopefully, they get all 6 players through it this time, though.
Looks like they're not even going for the TP. Looks like they're just gonna be walking around. Atomic's just getting free all charge right now and free boops and smiles. He needs to be kept up. They need to move. They need to go. They need a TP. I'm not sure what their plan is right now, but they're just kind of sitting down at point. They've got to go.
Go. Let's do something.
They got to press the go button.
Do something. And now you big
Great,
more.
great lamp. But they're TPing now. It's a
Wait.
good slam, but I don't know. I don't like this. They're too slow to capitalize. Well, they're just too slow to engage. They just kind of stood there way too long. I'm not sure if they were waiting for maybe a Twinkie flank or what was happening, but they just gotta go. There's no other way to put it. Ooh, looks like they're swapping to a ball comp? What are they
This
gonna
is
be
very
swap
reminiscent.
to?
This is kind of reminiscent to what they did on Well, where they played this awkward ball but bunker backline type vibe. But I don't see it really working out for them because, I mean, what are they really poking at? There's nothing that they can shoot that doesn't move at the speed of light.
When they're going left side, this is Boop Central. And Twinkie's kind of off on his own. They're trying to take different off angles here.
Oh.
Yeah, we just can't go left side because they have so many boops. There's 3 boops on the side, and I think that's gonna be the end of the. I don't know if they're gonna have much of a fight in this. I think that this was the map that absolutely needed to be in favor of Elk, and they were always just too slow to move. And I don't. Do they even have a touch? I don't think anyone touched them.
Big pulse early. Mech is gone.
Oh. Looks like we're going to a map 6, folks. That was not the aggression that we really saw in Havana. We need to see that aggression that we saw in Havana, because all they did was just stand around and let themselves get harassed by this ball comp. And Twiggy's gonna get play of the game probably for one of his 4-man riptires, but I need this last map. I don't even know what last map is because I've never seen the 6-map series yet. So what? Is it the? I assume it's the loser's pick who gets to choose a control map. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
That's crazy.
We're gonna figure out that last map, and we're gonna be back.
Man.
Alright guys, we're here. The final map. No more draws, no more maps at all. We're heading into Busan. This was the map choice for Elk because we entered a map, 6 map series, and so the loser is picking a control map that wasn't chosen. So they decided to go with Busan, which I respect. They can play a bit of brawl here. I think that's what they want to do here. We're gonna see. Yeah, looks like they're both gonna be, not both, but it looks like Elk is gonna be locking into that brawl comp. Twinkie Reaper, I sure don't hope that's what they do, but we're gonna see. And once again, I think at this point, Artemis know ball comp is their forte.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have been showing that they are a lot more cohesive and they are a lot more focused when they're playing the what? Why did they swap? Okay, good. When they're playing Brawl. It is the first time we see Briggs in, which is going to be a lot of extra pressure. That Discord does a lot of damage and it sneaks up on some people. So we'll see how this goes.
Definitely. It looks like I kind of like this. It looks like the Elk plan is just a bunker down a point, but they can't go too far out, and they're spreading way too far out. I'm not sure what their plan is. They gotta just bunker up in that cubby, and Fawn way oversteps, and he's gonna be punished for that. And now it's just gonna be Elk getting picked off. Maybe they can cap point, but I severely doubt that is what's gonna happen. Sun comes out. Discord is just gonna be way too much pressure. Elk can't walk out in the open against a bulk comp like that. That's the big mistake there. And now ults are already online.
Yeah, they have Noon and Pulse Bomb. It's going to be really difficult to walk into this Ball comp as well. Ball is not an easy comp to go against as Brawl. It definitely is one of the comps that you kind of think counters Brawl. So it's going to be really hard for Elk, knowing that they have been successful on Brawl, to try to force it into a ball. But we'll see how it ends up going. It's a lot of ults to try to push through, though.
Well, that's a great wall. That's the start that you need. Oh, but DJ. Yes, Pulse. Great from Walter. Absolutely been popping off this whole series, and that's the start. All you need is that Reinhardt down, and the Brawl comp falls apart. I don't like the Brawl here at all. I'll be real with you, Cal. I don't think that the Brawl comp is gonna work out. It's just against Zen, it's too much damage and too much disruption, and the Tracer has free reign.
I completely agree with you. Brawl is definitely one of those the things that you do not want to try to play unless you have point already into a ball comp, and even then, it's still really difficult. There's so much CC and pressure from so many different angles that it's really hard to do with anything on Brawl.
Walter's just in the backline on Zulu, and that Discord dig finishes him off. Great headshot from him, and now it's just going to be desperation ultimates from Smiles, but I don't think this. Yeah. The entire team right now is so, like, Artemis is incredible at these ball comps. Maybe not super flexible, but this ball comp is the best comp in the game, and they're rolling right now.
Yeah, and they still have ultimates to go into this fight with, and even though they have some of the bigger ultimates coming online, they have Beat, they have both the tank ults, I don't think that's going to be enough to necessarily dislodge the fact that they can play so dispersed on this comp.
Yep. Bomb's gonna just be placed down. He comes out from Fawn, and it's gonna get, earn them a pick against the Zenyatta. But this is so many ults coming out. Twinkie's gonna commit the Hanyu, just try and close this out, but it's slowly coming up. They get the point spot, but I think any side can take this. Diamond gets the pick on Lucio, and now there's not much heals. There's only Brig heals. I didn't even notice the Brig swap. This is a very interesting comp. Point is on the side of Elk, and I think they're gonna close this out. Minefield commit though. This might not be over yet. And Walter. Every single map, all I have to say is Walter diff. It's a great minefield from Atomic, and this point swap is gonna come right back.
You only have one touch. No one's gonna be able to get there in time. Ball might get another one, but no, he gets flashed. Oh, he gets there.
Okay, it's not over for Elk. They just, I fail to see why they'd go Busan. It's very good for Mecha Base. If Mecha Base is the next map, this is very turnable. So Mecha Base is the next map, so I'm very worried right now. uh, for Elk, because this is even worse for Brawl, I would say. It looks like they maybe want to open up on the ball comp. I wouldn't mind if Fawn swapped over to Zenyatta, maybe, and then everything else is kind of all right here. But I'm nervous right now for Rogue. I think that right now, with this all this ball comp, that right now Artemis are looking to close this out. Very interesting. It's a very non-diveable comp.
It is very awkward. They went and swapped to the Moira instead of the Baptiste, which gives her a bit more survivability against these dives since she has the cooldown to just get away and disengage. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like it's gonna mesh well with everything else. I mean, they do have a Brig and a Cassidy, but like you could have had a Zen and just had that extra pressure.
For sure, I need them to dive something right now. You know, if they're gonna play this comp, I need them to get onto something, and they're chunking down Atomic's health, and they actually get the first point cap. It's a very weird yeah, there it is. The Zenyatta Discord. Dingus has been getting large value from these Discords, and yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like Elk just have a hard time realizing that they need to go onto something. They need to collapse onto something, no matter what comp. They need to just walk onto something. And now, you know, they got that first 14%, but they have to break through the Walter diff with the Mercy Pocket once again. And we know how this has been going throughout the whole series whenever Walter diff is on Ashe.
Now they're playing Ana Moira. It definitely seems like just absolute, like, throwing everything at the wall and everything, hoping something will stick. Because that looks like that is just a not good backline in this type of comp.
Yeah, they're gonna get some point pressure, and what this comp does really well is capitalize onto Atomic. It's hard for him to get value when he dives. And Walter, he's 45 health. He's gonna get some help eventually. And the Transcendence comes out, so they're gonna be sustained, but Fawn doesn't leave without getting a pick. Twinkie walks into his own pulse bomb, which is very unfortunate. Oh, big purple! Big purple that onto Walter. They just need to capitalize on him, finish him off, and it's gonna happen. Flux comes out, and Fawn is gonna live through. He's gonna tank it, and I think this is gonna be a fight for Elk. This comp is so bizarre, but it might just work. Like, it's very hard to dive, and wait. The Nano?
Zulu? Hello?
I don't know what that now does. I think that might have been maybe a misclick. Very unfortunate. That's a tool that you need for next fight, I think. Especially when you're in this losing scenario.
Not only that, but you're pretty much now putting yourselves equal in ult bank, and they're gonna just walk in with Valk.
Yeah, but you know, it's not completely bad. It's a great sleep dart. Atomic's not gonna get any value up. Fawn falls. He gets capitalized on. Trades are coming out, but I feel like right now Artemis have this advantage. Point is still in favor of Elk. But it's just the amount of damage that Artemis have. It's so hard to break through. Another great sleep dart, and Zulu is coming up on another nano. If they can live through this, Fawn's back. Oh, no. Walter diff. They're gonna be able to stall this out for a little bit though, I think, because DJ, he's still alive. He's gonna start resetting, get a health back. This is looking close. They just need to. They have their ultimates to win this. They have Minefield, support ults. It's winnable.
On the other side, though, they still have Visor. They have the mines themselves, and both coming on both support ults and Flux. So it's going to be very difficult for them to necessarily close this out, but they do have the tools to do it. They just have to they just have to execute something. Get something going.
You're just looking at the flank right now. Oh, here comes the minefield. It's going to build so much space. I think the minefield's coming out. Great dive. That's what we needed to see. And Frosty's falling weak too. DJ is currently popping off right now. This is the play we needed. And now point is back in favor for Elk. And Walter looks like they might be getting the stagger kills. The stagger kills are fantastic. Robot's not going to be able to participate in this last fight. There are so many ults available for Artemis, but they have to get on the point. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. Okay, they actually do get someone on point. Atomic is here. going to use that molten core to try and stop people from touching point, and it does get one. This is the start. This is going to be a scrappy fight right here. They need to focus on target. Atomic is very weak, but Walter Diff, he's coming alive right now. Once again, when this team needs him, DJ's coming up on another minefield. He's very close to it, but his team is crumbling behind us, right in front of his eyes. And the Bob's out, and I don't think Elk have any more fuel in their throttle. And despite such a great series, that's going to be the end. Very close. 6-map series. Artemis take the win.
Yeah, we could not have asked for a closer series, all the way out to 6 maps, pushing it to extras. And man, a big back and forth. You saw some adaptations come through. We saw some big steps in certain types of comps. But man, the ball comp and the absolute chaos that it ensues was just too much for
I 100% think, though, that these are... Calator.
Oh.
Is it really any question
Oh.
who
Oh.
I think our MVP
Oh.
is going to be?
Oh, you don't even have to ask. It's in his name.
Yeah. Walter Diff was an absolute freak of nature. I mean, every map, even when they were losing, he was insane. Absolutely insane play. From his Ash to his Tracer, he was always in the right spot, clicking the right heads.
Even back when he was even though it's like, yeah, you can click heads and you can get these pulse bombs, it's hard to take a 2v5 situation when there are ults coming at you and still just absolutely pile through it and clean up and turn the fight. That fight where he went on and like 2v6 the whole Elk squad, coach and everything. It could have been like 8 people there. He wouldn't have cared. He just kind of just kept shooting away and kept getting kills and kills and kills. That type of performance, it takes more than just raw aim. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have kind of that clutch gene, and Walter definitely showed it this match.
Absolutely. Walter Diff. I definitely am thinking that these two teams are looking to be top tier, because, yeah, Elk lost, but they pushed Artemis to the limit. I mean, this was a 6-map banger series. Yeah, I think there are several times where if another team wins one fight, it ends differently. Both the control maps were, except for like the one round of Busan, were pretty down to the wire. Fantastic series from both teams. Great job both teams. Congratulations again to Artemis.
GG's all around. What a great series. What a pleasure casting this for the Better Academy. Last season of Overwatch 1, baby. Oh man, banger early.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank everyone for stopping by the stream, watching this for second through us with these 6 maps. Special thanks to Lux for the great production. I'm obviously Calator right now. I'm obviously Calator right now. Nice to meet you, everyone. And Dragon, my co-caster, the B, I like to appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for buzzing with me and being my co-caster.
It's always a pleasure, man. There's no one else that I'd rather bzz with.
There we go. All right. This has been Calator and Dragon. Signing out.
Oh, what a banger.